guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for a magic stuff. And I'm going to do another one of my 3 best trick series. And this is 3 more tricks with double faces that you've never seen before. Now, if you have not gone and watched the first 3 tricks with double faces that you've never seen before, please go and do that. You can find it in the playlists. There is some amazing tricks on there, including a sort of torn and restored transpo by David Acker that is just absolutely unbelievable. Now, in that project, in that video, I looked at tricks that maybe used 1 double facer or a couple of double facers. I think there was 1 trick that involved more than 1 double facer. In this video, I'm going to be looking at tricks that use an entire pack of cards and at least half of the deck are double facers, which means that you can only use this pack of cards for that trick and that trick only. So if you're going to be doing that, you need to make sure that the trick that you're doing, the trick that requires a full pack of cards to do, is very, very strong. And these tricks are absolutely amazing. They all use a full pack of cards. It's all a standalone trick, which means you can only do this routine with it, but it is all really, really powerful. So I'm gonna perform the tricks for you, and then I'm gonna break down where you can get them from and why they're so good. So without further ado, let's have a look at the first trick with double faces that you've never seen before. Okay, so the first trick we're going to be looking at is a download by a very young Joshua J. Now, you can get it on Vanishing Ink. You can also get it on Penguin. It's called Waltzing Cheek to Cheek. Now, when you get this download, you'll see that Josh looks a lot younger than he does now. And this trick has been in my act for many, many years. And it's pretty much flown under everybody's radar. But what Josh has done with this trick is he's taken 2 of my favourite plots, 2 of the strongest plots of Magic, which is Triumph and Anniversary Waltz, and he's combined them into a very commercial trick. And this trick is super commercial. I'm going to explain why it's so commercial, but let's have a look at the routine first of all. I performed it on Sarah. Let's have a look at that performance right now, and then I'll break down why it's so good. Right, Sarah, I have a pack of playing cards, and you're going to help me with this. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're going to be like my glamorous assistant. So 52 cards. In a minute, you're going to pick a card, and that's going to represent you, and I'm going to pick a card, and that's going to represent me. But what I'm going to do to make sure that the 2 cards are completely different, I'm going to shuffle the cards face up into face down like that. Okay? So what we have is we have a situation where we have half the cards face up, half the cards face down. So if I spread them out now, you can see face up cards and face down cards. Get it?
Yeah.
So you're going to pick a card first of all for yourself. So as I go through like this, just touch a face up card. Which one do you want?
That one.
Okay, cool. Can you do me a favour? Take the pen out of my top pocket and just write your name on that card. That's going to represent you. And underneath, you might want to, underneath the signature, just put the date that we got married. I'm glad you're doing this because I really don't know. Very good. So you've got the 4 of clubs, yeah? That's going to represent you. Now we need a card to represent me, a face down card. Touch one. Which one would you like?
I was going to get that Joker, but you've gone past.
No, face down. A face down
face
card.
Down, that one.
That one there. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so this card here, the 7 of diamonds, that will represent me. Do you want to sign? Well, here, let me put my name on there. So we've got Craig. There we go. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So we've got a card that represents me, and we've got a card that represents you. Now I'll just give the cards a cut, and we are good. Right, so here's what's going to happen. Your card represents you, my card represents me, and the rest of the cards are mixed face up and face down. We're going to try and do 3 magical things. The first magical thing I'm going to do is snap my fingers like that, and when I do, every single card in the pack goes the right way. Like, the were mixed face up into face down, but now every single card is facing the right way. The second magical thing is those 2 cards are somewhere separate in the pack. But if I snap my fingers, what happens is now there's 1 face down card in the pack and 1 face up card next to it, which is my card. And you're not going to believe this, but that face down card is your card. Just like you and I want to be together forever. Those 2, you'll see the look she's giving me right now. Just like you and I want to be together forever, right. These 2 cards have come together in the middle of the pack, in between all of that chaos. We have found order. We have removed the chaos from our lives. We have found order, and now we have come together forever.
Okay.
It's like the story of our lives. But we're going to go further. Watch. I would normally get you to hold your hand out here, but instead what I'll do is I'll do it myself. This will be your hand, this will be my hand. I'm going to put the two cards together and I'm going to squeeze. And do you know what happens when I do that?
No.
The two cards fuse together into one card. Sarah on one side, Craig on the other. Two cards together as one, piece for piece, fibre for fibre. And I can look at that, and every time I look at it, I can remember why Sarah and Craig are absolutely perfect for each other.
More like you'll keep it to remember when we got married.
Yeah. That way I won't forget the marriage. Yeah. So, the reason it's called Waltzing Cheek to Cheek is because it uses the cheek to cheek principle. Except instead of using double-backed cards, it uses double-faced cards. Now, let's talk about why this trick is so good. First of all, you saw it. Anybody who's performed Anniversary Waltz will know how strong it is. The problem with Anniversary Waltz is you've got to sneak a double-faced card into the pack. You've got to do the routine. You've got to make sure that they go for that particular card. But with this, that's not the case, because this deck is made up of half double faces. So what happens is it's an immediate reset. This trick immediately resets when you've done it, which is why it's so wonderful. You can do Anniversary Waltz like 15, 20 times a night without having to worry about getting another double facer and putting it in your deck or getting it ready to perform for the next table. You literally do the routine, put the deck back in the case, you can go to the next table and do it again with a completely different card. Now, the routine itself is very, very easy, but the shuffle of face up and face down, because you're using double-faced cards, when you shuffle the cards face up and face down using the optical reverse and you spread the cards, you've got that beautiful display of face up and face down cards. They can see that this card's face down. They can see that this card's face up. And the logic behind shuffling face up and face down, it's very logical. I want you to pick a face down card. I want you to pick a face up card. Then you spread through. They can take any card. They can take any card. It's a very clean way of having the cards picked and signed. And then immediately, boom, you've got this triumph. Because of the cheek-to-cheek principle, you've got this triumph where all the cards sort themselves out and they're all face up. And that's the first moment of magic. And the second moment of magic, boom, the two cards come together and then you turn the cards over and you've got that very clean display. And then you put them in their hand, and because there's also a double backer used in here, it's very, very easy to then have them fused together. The nice thing is you end up in a full reset. There's nothing to do. You put the cards in the case, you put them away, and it's reset. So this trick is very commercial. You don't require a table. It can be done walk around completely. No table is required at any point. It's an instant reset. It is very easy to do. It allows you to do one of the strongest card tricks in the world, in my opinion, which is Anniversary Waltz, without having to prep it beforehand. Because it's using the cheek-to-cheek principle, you get a very clean version of Triumph. I mean very clean. They see the cards are face up and face down. There's no culling. There's nothing like that. You literally just square up the cards, turn them over, boom, job done. It is done. There's no downside to this trick at all. If you want to look at a negative, it's the same negative that you're going to get with all three of these tricks, which is that you have to carry a regular deck. You have to carry a deck of cards around with you for this. Because there's no way around it. You need this deck of cards in order to perform the routine. But you know, it's up to you. But what I do is I always carry a regular deck and I always carry a gaff deck with me, and then probably a mem deck as well. And I'll change up the gaff deck that I take with me. Sometimes it'll be this, sometimes it might be an invisible deck, sometimes it might be like an Any card by Richard Sanders. There's lots of different options that I've got, but this is definitely in rotation. And if I'm doing walk around, and I know I'm just doing walk around, this is probably something I'll take because it is suited perfectly to a walk around condition. So there you go. It's called Waltzing Cheek to Cheek. It's very easy to do. It's highly recommended. You can get this a download for like £10 or $10, and it's available from Vanishing Ink and it's available from Penguin Magic. Just put in Waltzing Cheek to Cheek by Josh J. So the second routine that we want to have a look at is Astral Projection by Jay Sankey. Now this trick is as old as the hills. It is ancient. It was one of Jay's first tricks that kind of really put him on the map. He brought this out at around about the same time as In a Flash, I want to think. But you know what? It is such an incredibly powerful routine. It's the structure that makes this trick so good. So I want to perform the trick for you. I'm going to perform it for Sarah, and then we're going to go through it. But pay close attention to the routining and the structure during the performance. Okay, Sarah. So this is created by one of your favourite magicians, Jay Sankey. I know you like Jay.
Yeah.
So have a look at this. I need your help with this. I got a pack of playing cards, right?
Right.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the pack into 2 piles. We're going to put one pile over there, and we're going to put one pile here. And this, you'd normally put your hand on that pile. But we're just going to pretend that there's an invisible hand over there. But that pile gets guarded. Right. Now, Sarah, this is what I want you to do, and I want you to watch very, very carefully. In this pile, I'm going to spread through, and as I do, I want you to think of one of these cards. Do not tell anyone. Do not write it down. Do not say anything. Do not say, okay, I've got one. Let me spread through the cards, and then I'll close up the cards, and then I'll ask you if you've got one, okay? Right. So I'm going to spread through the cards now. I want you to look at and remember one of these cards. Anyone as I go through any card. There's about half of the deck here. Just remember one of those cards. I'll give you one more spread. Did you get one of those cards, Sarah?
I did.
So you're now remembering one of those cards, right?
Yes.
And I couldn't possibly know what the card is. If I told you that I could guess your card, would that be good?
Yeah.
That'd be good, but it's really only a 1 in 26. So I'm going to go further. What if I told you I could magically remove the card from that pack without even touching it?
Okay.
Done.
Right.
Let me show you, look. I don't want you to tell me what the card is. I'm going to deal through them very, very cleanly like this onto the table. Just tell me if you see your card.
No, it's not there.
It's not there. I told you I've made your card disappear like I promised. But you see, you can't just make something disappear in magic. You have to make it go somewhere else. And your hand's been on this packet the entire time. For the first time, tell me, what was the name of your card?
Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts. Right down here in the middle of this packet now, we have the Jack of Hearts. And that is magic. Okay, so do you see what I mean about the routining and about the structure? It's just absolutely wonderful. There's no hidden moves. There's nothing to see. Everything is just so clean and it all makes sense. So you take the cards, you give them half the cards. They can hold it in their hands like this. They can put their hand on it. You don't need a table for this. I'm using a table because I've got one in front of me. But you don't need a table. You can give them the cards. They can put them in the pocket. They can hold them like that. Whatever you want to do. And then you've got this beautiful moment of just saying, think of a card. Don't tell me. Just think of a card. Now, what's really nice about that is laymen are conditioned to see magicians constantly going, pick a card, pick a card. And laymen aren't stupid. They know that if a magician is shuffling the cards, there's a chance that they're going to be able to keep track of that card. But this is so super clean. Don't tell me, just think of a card. Boom. Okay, you got it? Great. Then you put the cards down and you're done. In that action, you are done. Now, you don't ask the name of the card. You just say, boom, I'm going to make the card disappear. And then you deal through the cards one at a time. And they don't see the card. The card genuinely has gone. And only then, when the card is gone, do you say, what's the name of the card? And they tell you, and you pick up this pack of cards, and you spread through, and you show that the card is right there in the middle of the pack. That's what makes it so strong. It is self-working. It is completely self-working, but it doesn't look like it's self-working. It looks like you've done something amazing. And to be clear, transpositions are really commercial. If you've ever done a transposition to a layman, you'll know how commercial a transposition are. They absolutely love it. Well, this is like this isn't really a transposition because two things are changing places. This is more of a teleportation. But it's so strong because it's done under test conditions. You could actually do this trick by saying to them, I'm going to make one card that you think of in here appear in that packet over there. And you could tell them that ahead of time and still do it and they wouldn't see a thing. That's how strong it is. Now, no table required. Easy to do, completely self-working. It's an instant reset, by the way. You just literally just put the cards back together and instant reset. Unlike the Josh J trick, you've only got a packet of about 20 gimmicked cards. So if you wanted to, you could put those cards back into there and you could do something that uses just over half the deck. I think there's like 30 odd cards in the other half. You could do something. So if you wanted to, what I'm trying to say here is you could stack like 4 aces in that half of the deck, and if you wanted to do something before you went into this, you could say, okay, let me show you something, let me take out the 4 aces from this deck. Wonderful, I'm going to show you something with 4 aces, and you could do like a twisting the aces or a last trick of Doc Daly or something, or you can structure a routine that requires a half a deck. You can do that sort of stuff, and then you can then go into the second phase, which is an absolute killer and which is what you should end on. So with clever routining, you can actually, even though it's a standalone trick with one deck, you can do other stuff with it if you want to, which kind of turns it into more of an act. But yeah, this is something that I've done for years, and it always hits hard every single time. It's available through Jay Sankey's website, which is jsankey.com. It might be a dealer item as well, because I know that when he bought this out, he was putting it out through Murphy's. Just go on somewhere like Penguin and type in Astral Projection and see if it pops up. It might do, but it's definitely available from jsankey.com. Have a look at it. It's well worth getting. It's called Astral Projection. Okay, so the final trick we're going to be looking at is, it's not a new one, but it's not as old as the other two. It came out about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's another trick that nobody talks about. It's flown under everyone's radar. It's called Return Flight by Rick Lax. Now, love him or hate him, you know, and there's a lot of people that do hate him, there's a lot of people that love him. Rick has, over the course of his career, created some very commercial magic, and this is really, really commercial. Return Flight. It's got a little bit of a similar feel to Jay's Astral Projection, but it's better. I have to be honest, it's better than Astral Projection. I think probably this is the best trick out of the 3. They're all good, but out of the 3 tricks that I'm showing you today, I think this is the best one. So let's have a look. First of all, I'm going to perform it for Sarah. Let's have a look at Return Flight by Rick Lax. Okay, Sarah, so we're going to perform a routine by Rick Lax. It uses a pack of 50. Rick Lax is the guy that you keep saying to me, oh, he's so annoying when you see him on Facebook. Anyway, we can do a trick with a pack of cards. We're going to take the deck. We're going to divide it into 2 piles. We're going to put half the cards there, half the cards here, and I will need the card case actually. So two halves of the pack. Now, which half would you like me to do the magic with?
The one with the ace on.
The one with the ace on, okay. So at this point, what you would do here is you would give these cards a shuffle. Obviously, you're behind the camera filming, so I'm going to shuffle them for you. But normally, at this point, you would be shuffling the cards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what I want you to do is, as I go through these cards in this path, I want you to just, when you see one that you like the idea of, just tell me.
Tell you what the card is?
Yeah, just tell me what the card is.
That's 3. What was that?
Diamond. The three of diamonds?
Yeah.
Do you want to change your mind, or are you happy with the 3?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So you could have picked any card, right? That's fair to say. You could have picked any card. I didn't make you pick one. I'm going to put the rest of the cards away inside the card box. And we'll put the card backs over there. We'll get back to it a little bit later on, okay?
Okay.
Now, this would all be done by you, but your hands are busy, so I'm going to do it. I would now ask you to take half the cards face up, half the cards face down, and shuffle the cards face up into face down. I'm going to do that for you. But the cards are face up and face down. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And I'm going to put your card into the middle. So we have your card face up in a whole bunch of cards that are face up and face down. Now, if I take the cards and turn them over, your card is still going to be there, but it's going to be face down, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense, because if your card is, what was it, the 3 of diamonds? If your card is here face up, if I turn the cards over, your card becomes face down, right?
Yeah.
So if I snapped my fingers and spread the cards out and said your card is no longer there, technically that's true, because the card is no longer there. But you know it's there because it's a face down card. Right. If I really want to make this card disappear, I snap my fingers again, because then I can go through every single one of these cards. I can turn every single one of the face down cards over, and you would normally do this. I would actually have you, if your hands were free, I'd have you turn over every single face down card, and you would look for that 3 of diamonds, and you would not see it, because that 3 of diamonds has completely and totally disappeared. And the reason is it jumped.
Right.
And right at the very beginning, I put a box over there, didn't I?
Yes.
And now check this out. Underneath the card box, we have the 3 of diamonds. Now, that's pretty cool, right? But there is a rule in magic, and the rule is never repeat the same trick again. The first time it's entertainment, the second time it's educational. But I'm going to do it again, Sarah. In fact, I'm going to keep doing it until you like it, so we could be here a while. But I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to put it right there in the middle of that half of the cards. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And I'm going to take these cards. I'm going to put these here, and you put your hand on it, right? And now I'm going to do the same thing again, but now you know exactly what's going to happen. I have to make the card go from over here over to here on 3. 1, 2, 3. And it's done. What was your card again?
3 of diamonds.
3 of diamonds. Let's have a look. I see a 4 of diamonds. I see a 7 of clubs. I see a 2, a 3, 3 of hearts. I do not see a 3 of diamonds in this pack. You can spread through. You can spread through. The 3 of diamonds is gone. Look, there is no 3 of diamonds. No dodgy moves, no nothing. The 3 of diamonds is gone. And I said I'd do it again, and I have done it again. And let me explain what I mean, because now over here, you've had your hand on these cards the whole time, and yet one card has jumped back into this packet. One card only, and that is the 3 of diamonds. Okay, now I want to tell you something just off camera. Sarah's gone now, but just off camera, when I finished that routine, she went, that fooled me. I have no idea how that works. Now, bearing in mind, she knew that this is a project about double faces. She went, I know there's double faces involved, but I don't get how that could possibly work. And it just completely fooled her, and hardly anything fooled Sarah. And she knew that I was using double faces, so that's crazy. And it is a very fooling routine, and the structure behind it, again, is really great. It's another routine where you don't need a table if you don't want a table, but there's no wasted motion in this routine. And if you actually look at it, in essence, it's a 2-phase trick. So phase number 1 is they pick a card, and there's no force. You put the card over there, the cards get put away. The card gets put back into the pack, they shuffle it. And one thing that's nice about this is it's structured so that they do a lot of the shuffling themselves. They handle the cards most of the time. In something like Astral Projection by Jay, you really don't want the spectators holding the cards for the majority of the time. But with this, it's structured so that they use the cards more often than not. Right? So, which is really good, because there's no way they're going to think there's anything dodgy when they're using all the cards. But they shuffle the cards face up into face down. They put the card into the deck. You turn the cards over, and they turn the face down cards over. I know I did everything myself because Sarah was filming, but normally you'd get the spectator to do all of this, and you're turning it over, and the card is literally just gone. It's like the card has gone, which is an amazing moment. And they're handling the cards. Everything's kind of examinable at that point. They can see everything. Then you have that moment where you tell them to move the card box out the way, and their card is underneath the card box. Now, if you've ever performed card under box, and regular viewers of this channel will know that I perform card under box a lot, that is such a strong moment, because they are convinced the card's over there. They saw the card over there, and then they've very cleanly seen the card disappear. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing taken away, and the card's gone under the box. It's crazy. But then you bring this challenge element into it, and you say, look, I'm going to do it again. And they once again push the card into the pack of cards, but this time in the deck, and I give that someone to hold on to. And then you get somebody else to hold on to the cards over here, and it becomes very much like a cards across. You know, like in Cards Across, where you've got 10 cards here, 10 cards here, and they're holding on to them, and one card disappears from, 3 cards disappear from here, and you've got 13 over there. That's a classic for a reason, because it is such a strong routine. And you get that moment right here. It feels like a Cards Across. Boom, it's done. What do you mean it's done? Well, look, give me the box. Let me take the cards out. Look, do you see your card? Look, I'll spread them out. If you've got a table, you can spread them out. Look, there's no card there. The card is completely gone. And then you can either get them to spread the cards themselves, or you can spread the cards. And there's one face-up card in the face-down deck, and it's their card. My gosh, what a strong routine. My gosh, what a strong routine. The other thing is the reset is instantaneous. You just put the cards back together, and it's reset, ready to go again. So think about it from a commercial point of view. The cards reset immediately. You don't require a table. It's 2 incredibly strong moments of magic. They're handling the cards the majority of the time. It's so baffling. And it it can be done to a really big group. It is probably, I would say, the best trick I've ever seen Rick Lax create. It is just simply amazing, and it surprises me that not many people are doing it. Now, if you wanted to, you could structure this so that you could do the same thing that I suggested in the Sankey routine, which is you could have, because only half the deck are double faces, so you could actually go into it and routine it so that there's some cards that you pull out a face down deck and you do something with them before you go into anything else. You could do that, but I wouldn't recommend it. This is such a strong routine. It holds its own. When you perform it correctly, it's a 5 or 6 minute performance piece with 2 incredibly baffling moments of magic. And yeah, there's no negative to this at all, other than you have to carry around a deck to do this. But honestly, I think it's worth it. I'm going to do a video on this at some point, but I think you should have different sets for different performing conditions. So if you're booked to do walk around magic and then later on you're doing banquets, I think you should have a completely different set for walk around than you do for banquets. For me, this is a great trick to do when I'm doing bar magic, because I can spread it out on the bar. I can, or you know, like I'm in that sort of situation where it's like walk around, but there's tables and people are sitting around at tables and people are standing up. This is absolutely kills in that environment. You can pretty much do this anywhere. To be clear, I would feel comfortable doing this in a parlor show, and you know, having one person there, and really building up the impossibility. But you know, I think it's perfectly suited for walk around. Now, it's not very difficult to do. I'm trying to think of the moves. It's not very difficult to do at all. It's actually really easy. Going through it in my head, no, there's no difficult moves at all. It's all fairly easy. There's nothing. So I'd say it's as easy as the Astral Projection. So yeah, it's another great routine. It's available from Penguin Magic. It comes with the gaffs that you need. You get all the double faces and you get the download, and Rick teaches it very, very well as well. So it's really worth looking at. It's called Return Flight by Rick Lax. So there you go, guys. That is another magic stuff, another one of the 3 best trick series. I'm going to be doing a lot of these. I love doing the 3 best trick series. Somebody suggested a little while ago doing one on dupes. I think that's a really good idea. I've got a whole bunch of other ideas as well. I wanted to revisit the double faces because there's so much more you can do with double faces, and maybe in a few months I'll do another one, but I've got a lot of other ideas. If you have any ideas of videos that you want me to do in the 3 best series, please let me know in the comments down below. And as normal, please like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, please like it, share it, not share it, that's weird. Like it and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thank you very much for watching. Have an amazing day. My name's Craig from Magic TV.